Okay.
We're now standing with Uncle Ebrahim Rhoda, who's a local historian. Uncle Ebrahim, shukran so much for speaking to us on ITV. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Shanas.
Shukran so much. Today we at Faisal Dadis's book launch on the area of Zandvliet. What's your thoughts on today's events and on the book itself?
Now, first and foremost, I think we should really commend Faisal Dadis for coming on board in the field of research. We need men, young men, and even younger than Faisal to take the road forward as far as research is concerned about our beautiful Islamic heritage here at the Cape. The crowd, to my mind, was disappointing. Perhaps marketing wasn't good enough, but a start has been made. And the idea that Faisal has with this Faisal Dadis Foundation is beautiful, because he links that to the idea of tourism in making this particular area of South Africa known to the rest of the world, not only to South Africans and to tourists, but to everybody. And in this regard, this is pioneering work that Faisal is doing. And I'm most grateful that at least from our very own area, we have a son that has boarded the ship of research. And my dua is that he must, inshallah, succeed in whatever his projects are that he's got in mind.
Uncle Ebrahim, can you also maybe just give us some context in terms of how this research, where does it fit in with some of the current, texts available at the moment on this area in the whole of the world?
You see, there are very little documentary evidence of the works of Sheikh Yusuf. The fundis in this particular field, like Professor Azio Mardi from Indonesia, Professor Dango, our own Professor Dango from KwaZulu-Natal University, they all agree. In fact, Ahmad Tayyub of the University of Cape Town Islamic Studies, he believes there's very little evidence of documentary work of Sheikh Yusuf. And we are agreed on that, but there are circumstantial evidence. The fact that the Dutch authorities were complaining about the numbers increasing here at Zandvliet. Now, what does it tell you? That runaway slaves, fugitives from oppression, they were coming here, sitting at the foot of Sheikh Yusuf and learning and embracing Islam. So in that way, we can surely say this is historical. And from another angle, we regard Sheikh Yusuf as the founder of Islam. Though we acknowledge there were Muslims before him, as early as 1667, and even before that, some of the first slaves who came. But none of them as prominent as Sheikh Yusuf, for his role in Indonesia in fighting oppression and colonial imperialism. And I think for that reason, we need to honor men like him. And to that extent, we've seen Shah Muhammad took the ship a bit further when he started with the Shah Muhammad Trust to reconstruct the whole shrine of Sheikh Yusuf there. That shows that these people realize the importance of this great Islamic luminary that brought Islam to the southern tip of Africa. And I think for that, you and I, Shahnaz, we are standing here as Muslim, and for that we should be grateful, because we are the beneficiaries of that legacy.
Finally, Uncle Ebrahim, what measures are in place for other families from the area that wants to go about, researching their own family tree?
Yes. Fortunately, I'm a founder member of the Cape Family Research Forum. And since 2011, we've done about 5 workshops. We take about 20 participants at a time, and it's a 4.5-hour workshop in the archives. It starts with a guided tour of the archives. You then go into the conference room where you are given a PowerPoint presentation. So the idea is that I've seen people coming to the archive scratching here and scratching there. So what we've done, we've developed a PowerPoint to show you from the moment you step into that building. And after the 4.5 hours, you'll be able to come on your own. You empower that skill to do your own research. And alhamdulillah, we have succeeded so far according to the assessment that some of the participants, their assessment of the workshop has been very successful. Our appeal is, our next one is hopefully on the 10th of May. To date, we've had very few people who've applied to be part of this workshop, but there's still time left. And the person to contact is Mr. Kami Khamildin. They can go to the website of the Cape Family Research Forum or contact Mr. Kami Khamildin, because our present chairman is now overseas, so that's why not Kami, Hanif Kamedin, sorry, that was his name. Hanif Kamedin is a person to contact to be part of this workshop on the 10th of May. It coincides with Archives Week. So on that Saturday, the Cape Family Research Forum will be running this workshop. And in that way, we hope that we could encourage more of our youth to come on board and do research.
Uncle Ebrahim, finally, promise this is the last question. In terms of publishing books, it's very, very expensive. Do you have a message to the viewers of ITV in terms of how they can support, young and upcoming historians and authors who wants to have their works published as well?
I'll give you a practical example. With our latest publication, you were there, you saw the town hall was full. Involve your whole community. To the extent you start with those in the corporate world in your community, appeal to them for sponsorship. And I can assure you they never fail us. We have very good Muslims, very generous Muslim donors in our community. And to point out practically the example of something like that, we needed about 45,000 to have the book printed. It's about 280 pages. We raised 57,000 just through sponsorship. So it can be done, but it must be a community effort, not an individual effort. And if you involve all the stakeholders in your community and you market your book in advance, like we did in the Strand, you cannot fail, especially if your niyat is sincere and your objective is a good and noble one.
Thanks so much, Uncle Ebrahim, for your time.
It's a pleasure. The next time,